Hey everyone, tax season is upon us, and I don't know about you, it would take hours and sometimes days to get everything organized to send to my accountant because I didn't have a good system for keeping things organized. Anyways, I just want to help you create a system that's easy because in one of the first few years after I left home, I was audited because I forgot to declare, I think, $600 that I had made from my dad. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. I was young. I didn't know anything about this. So it really forced me to get on top of keeping track of my financial documents. I'm just going to show you how I do it. So step one in all this is about keeping your receipts. I keep this. I hate this. It's just not my colors, whatever. But it's big and bright enough that I know exactly that this is where I keep all my receipts for the month. So I leave this in a certain place when I come into the house. Anytime I have receipts or I'm finding receipts somewhere, I put them in here. And then every month or every couple of months, I go through and I pull out those receipts for that month and I put them in an envelope and label it January or February or whatever. So find yourself a container to keep your receipts in. And the reason you're going to want to do that is because it might come at the end of the year where your accountant says, do you have proof of a receipt for this item or something? And you're going to say, heck yeah, I do. It's right here. It's like not a big deal. If you have your own business, there are going to be certain expenses that you have. Let's just pretend that this receipt is for something that is an expense. What I can do is I can highlight it, boom, and then I put it in put it back inside my little container. And then when I go through my receipts, if I want to, okay, where are the expenses? All the ones with the lines on them or the highlighters on them, that has an expense on it, so I need to keep track of it. Okay, that's number one. Number two is that at the end of every month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever, I go through all of my accounts. So my credit card, my debit cards. So I'm printed off an example of one. This is not my actual one. I asked AI to generate a sample for me. I highlight everything on here. And I do this for two main reasons. One, so I can clearly see what I need to calculate to see if I'm in my budget or even to create a budget, number one. But number two, anything that is not highlighted means that was just like an extra money that it didn't have a function, it didn't have a job, it didn't go anywhere particularly. So then I have to ask myself, could I have spent that money differently or more effectively or whatever? And really that's for like, if you're like me and you're just addicted to McDonald's coffees. This is not an ad. So look, all my yellows right here. You highlight this however you want to. I'm just showing you an example. All the yellows here says must pay. So these are like my bills, my mortgage, my insurances, the things. Some of them are variable and some of them are invariable. So like for this one, for example, it's an electric bill. So in the summer, my electric bill is not going to be very high, but in the winter, it's going to be a lot higher. So I need to take that into account when I'm budgeting, right? So anyways, we're going to get to that in a second. That's why I have invariable, meaning it's not going to change, especially if it's like a mortgage payment or a rent payment. It's not going to change every month, so it's invariable. So then I have here in orange, I have my groceries / pet. I can calculate these up and say, oh, how much am I spending on average a month in groceries? Is there, how am I doing? In green, I put all my memberships. So like my gym, my Netflix, whatever. I'm just curious to see these because guess what? I can't tell you how many times I've caught companies overcharging me or accidentally getting billed twice in 1 month. So it helps when you can see visually. Transport. I put all my transportation costs in a different one. So this is going to be like my gas, my car payment if you have one, bus passes and stuff. This is just for me to know in my categories for my budgeting. And then I just highlight, if I made a payment, I need to see clearly that I made a payment in a month. So that's what I do. So I mark these off. And then this is just like a visual reminder of me of like, oh, this is where that money goes. And this is what it's for. Interesting. And then you see whatever is left, Amazon, Domino's Pizza. Now that I have this, I can make my budget. So then I make a zero-based budget. For more information on how to do that, I really suggest checking out Inspired Budget's Instagram account where she goes through and budgets for real families. I love watching those and they're great. And she gives you great details on how to budget to create a zero-based budget. This really works if you're on a fixed income because every single dollar has a function. And the idea is that at the end of every month, you know where every dollar went. Not that every dollar has to have an awesome function and a purpose. You can have fun money or extra stuff or buffer money or emergency fund. But to create a zero-based budget really saved my hide. Even as someone who doesn't have a fixed income, I have a very variable income. Sometimes I make a lot of money, sometimes I make nothing for months. If you want to know how I am able to use a zero-based budget on a variable income, leave a message for me in the comments and I will maybe explain it in another video. Now, once I've created the zero-based budget, then I move on to the next step, which is to track my money. So we're talking about within the zero-based budget, you have two categories of expenses. You have variable and invariable, right? So in the variable expenses, this is where you'd have like food and groceries and stuff, because you're not spending the exact same amount on groceries every month unless you are only eating the very exact same things every month. And not many people do that. I come close. So when you're doing this budgeting exercise of creating a zero-based budget, then you start to understand the different categories that variable expenses go into. So like I have one for that I call the groceries, food, and pets. I have one called gifts. I have one for other stuff like just anything that comes up. So now I need to track all of that. And the way I do that is using a digital app like Good Budget or YNAB, You Need a Budget. I like Good Budget. It's free. It's the one that I'm using now. This is not an ad, but it's great because I can say, okay, I have $800 per month for all of my grocery, medical, pets, and personal needs. Okay, I have $120 a month for gas and transportation. And then every time I spend money, I just open up the app and I pick which category that expense goes into and I type in the amount, bing, bing, boom, and then I'm done. And then it automatically updates for me so I know how much money is left any point during the month. So it helps me to stay responsible for myself and for my kids. And really it's like a game for me because I will be damned if I overspend in a month. I do not like to do that. I hate it. So that's been really helpful. Now that I've got the tracking in order, now I move on to a landing zone for all of the really important documents that come in throughout the year. This would be like your IRS statements, contracts, gosh, any kind of really big statements that you know you're going to need to turn in at the end of the year when you file your taxes. And so just like I have this little guy for my receipts, I also have a separate box for all of those big important papers. And when the accountant says, hey, I need these and your receipts or whatever, it's like, boom, here, look, here's the box. Guess what? I already scanned all the documents. Oh, look, here are the important receipts I have. Guess what? They're already in envelopes and I already have them. Bing, bing, boom. And that, my friends, is how I make tax season easy peasy lemon squeezy for my AuDHD self. So I hope some of those tips and tricks are helpful to you. If there's something that you have a question on or you want to know more about, leave a comment. If you have even better advice, leave a comment. I love that. I always love discovering new stuff, new ways of doing things. And for even more detailed information on everything I just talked about here, visit the blog post at jarenmusic.com and we'll see you in the next video.